My number two is Don't Look Up, which is the Adam McKay film for Netflix. I guess you could call it a satire slash allegory about global warming and climate change, though I definitely read it as more of a general statement on the world and society today. Yes, America specifically, but I think you also could zoom out a little bit and just say this is an encapsulation of the world. I mean, I think this is a film that if aliens came down now, or there was a civilization 1,000 years in the future and we're like, hey, what was it like in 2021? I'd be like, just watch this movie and you'll understand everything about what 21st century planet Earth was like. I know it was controversial. Like some people liked it, some people hated it. I just was blown away by what Adam McKay was able to pull off. I thought it was just he was walking that fine line through the entire film, and I just don't think he ever fell off of it. I was blown away by what he did, mainly the directing and the writing, but also the performances I thought were great. DiCaprio, just one of his better performances, very against character, which I thought was interesting. And Jennifer Lawrence, who for me is either kind of hit or miss, I thought just did a great job. And just saying a lot of important things too. I mean, honestly, like the movie was almost made for me in terms of political worldview. Definitely very anti-capitalist, very definitely anti, big tech. So it was, I have to admit I'm a sucker for those things. So, and if you can't swallow that stuff well, I could see why this movie was controversial. But and it was funny, honestly. Like I laughed my way through it, which is something that's important to me when you're trying to deal with serious topics. So that was definitely a great film. I'm glad it got some recognition. I was honestly surprised that it got any nominations just because it was so controversial at the Academy, even though McKay has had a pretty good track record with the last couple films of being recognized as a serious filmmaker. And I thought there was a chance it could have won Best Screenplay, but it didn't. But I thought it had a good shot.
He won the WGA.
Yeah, no, I thought there was a chance.
This might happen.
Yeah, there was a chance.
Yeah, I'm not in sort of the camp of people who like hate this movie for sure, but I'm also not in your camp who kind of adore it the way you do. So I come more in the middle. Also, part of it is like in general, I'm not a big satire person. Like it's hard for me to divorce the seriousness of what is happening. So I can't laugh at it. Maybe I laugh at it, when I watch it again, because I've digested what this is about.
Right. Yeah.
In the moment, it's sort of like a car crash, that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, how is this funny? Just the way I don't find drunk people funny, Some people find it hilarious. Oh. Same thing.
Okay.
Sometimes I would, but for the most part, I'm always like, ooh, when is this person going to hit their head or like yell at somebody or slap somebody?
Oh, yeah.
So that makes me very unsettled, I guess. But that said, though, was I entertained and gripped? Absolutely. Was I bored? Not at all. I was totally invested in this movie from opening frame till the last scene. I think everybody in it is amazing, pretty much. It's brilliant casting across the board. It's sharply written, beautifully edited, I should say, of how it's sort of pieced together is amazing. I also think if the discourse around this movie and the promotion around this movie was less about climate change and such, and more about what you are saying of sort of the inability to act on anything by people, this movie actually lands even stronger. And I'm obviously all for climate change and everything, but I almost feel like in a different time where the media surrounding us was not as loud and was not kind of, feeding us this is the message of the movie. It's very important. And if you don't like this movie, blah, 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 that means you're whatever.
Yeah.
Not that I believe in any of it, but it's hard to ignore that.
For sure.
To me, this is a much stronger movie about just our inability to act, come to consensus about things that matter, and how distracted we are. And frankly, you also need those distractions. Like, I like the humanity in these people that comes across in bits and pieces that, if somebody is about to, I don't know, I hate saying it, like really ill in my family or what have you, Am I just going to be sitting there crying all day? No, I will watch something funny. I will watch something stupid to just disengage. It's just human nature. So I think it does that really well. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you in the sense of, I think people got too hung up on the climate change aspect of it, which I think, again, I saw it more of an allegory for anything in this country, especially big problems that we know the solutions on, how to make a better healthcare system, how to solve inequality. Like, these are not solutions that aren't out there. It's just we have an inability to act on it.
Right.
And I think that's what this movie, used that climate change and then the asteroid is an example for doing that. But that's why, again, I feel like it'll stand the test of time, even after hopefully we've solved the climate change crisis. This movie then doesn't become irrelevant. I think it is still has a lot of things it can just say about how government works, how corporations work with government, the whole thing. But
right.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.